A week of celebration and relief, and a week of resolve for citizens vocal about a new law expanding the Human Rights Ordinance to include gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender people in Jacksonville.
It's not too much you can do about it based on the 19 when they vote.
If I was going to have a sign myself today and hold it up, it would say, "Love thy neighbor," period. I mean, it just really comes down to that for me.
First, a former member of Congress delivering comments to the local Public Policy Institute, Gwen Graham's thoughts on Florida and the nation on This Week in Jacksonville. And thank you so much for joining us today. And now that an expanded human rights ordinance is the law here in Jacksonville, we're taking a closer look at how the city plans to enforce those protections for the LGBT community and protecting them from discrimination. Mayor Curry also responded to some questions about why he did not sign the new law approved by City Council to protect gays, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender citizens from discrimination. It became law without his signature. There is still a lot of reaction about the passage of the HRO amendment, both good and bad. And you're going to hear this morning from interested parties. We'll hear from them in just a moment. For right now, Mayor Curry says he's ready to move on to other issues. Hemming Park, the rest of the week, didn't show the signs of celebration like Tuesday night when people were dancing in the street after the City Council voted to approve the HRO expansion. Mayor Curry wasn't one of those on hand. In fact, he says he was at home with his family having a Valentine's Day dinner.
I was watching it before I left. I did not see the final vote because my wife was in the kitchen. I had walked into the living room and she said, dinner is ready. Turn off the TV. And get in here.
But what the mayor did was have his staff return the bill immediately to council without his signature, making it law. He told reporter Jim Piggott the reason he didn't sign it is because the mayor doesn't really believe the law is needed.
Don't you think that would have brought, like, more of a closure by signing that bill?
Jim, it's closed. It's closed. It's law. It's over.
Would you support a citizens' referendum on this?
It's over. It's closed. Let's get back to fighting crime in this city.
Councilman Tommy Hazuri stood behind the expansion from the start. The former mayor says he's glad Mayor Curry did what he did to get it into law so quickly.
I don't think you're going to see an abundance or an overabundance of complaints. I could be wrong. We had, a lot of people didn't complain before because there's no law to stand on.
And a reminder to you, this law is only for Jacksonville, does not affect the beaches, which have their own HRO ordinance. All right, so joining us this morning for a roundtable discussion on the issue, Dan Merkin and Reverend Claire Chance, who fought for the amendment, Raymond Johnson and Shirlene Davis, who both opposed expansion of the HRO. And I appreciate your time, your willingness to talk about this. So reaction on the pro-HRO side certainly has been one of excitement. I want to hear from each of you, your reaction now that we're a few days removed. Reverend?
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I think my feelings are summed up by the words in that news story saying that people are protected against discrimination. Because to me, this is not about LGBTQ. This is not about alphabet soup. This is about people who just want to live their lives and be treated like anyone else. And I am overjoyed in Jacksonville that another group of people will feel safe from prejudice that could limit their lives.
Yeah. Dan, give me your response.
Yeah, having heard from many people, I mean, so many people I know from the LGBT community and our friends and allies are just, this is a moment of hope for them. I know many people who have been in this community have felt for a long time that their voices haven't been heard, that they haven't been full participants in the community because they didn't feel they were protected to do that. And I think this sends a clear signal that, Jacksonville wants people to feel included. They want to encourage the full spectrum of Jacksonville to be able to participate in every activity that the city has to offer.
Dan, I appreciate it. Shirlene Davis and Raymond Johnson, obviously you came to the whole process of the last couple of months and even much longer before then saying you were opposed to this. Tell me your reaction, Mr. Johnson.
Well, I think there's several things that your listening audience needs to know. You started by saying that this is law. Technically, this is not law until the 10-day period has been reached or the next city council meeting. And there's been a lot of discussion of the religious exemption. The problem with the religious exemption is it's just really false because it is for an entity. And as an individual, I still cannot live out my faith and my conscience. So with Mr. Merka, I'd like to mention something that you had said during a news interview the other day. You had quoted that our hope was to leave in place the strongest protections possible. And so the attorney for your group, Jimmy Midget, had wrote this bill. And it was so bad, Kent, that Scott Wilson, the city councilman, had to introduce an amendment just to simply remove prison time for Christians simply trying to live out their faith.
So let's get at some of the details
false.
here.
First of all, that particular piece of the ordinance code already existed for the 9 protected classes that were already there before this was added. That was already there. So he removed it for all 11 protected classes.
We're still talking about jailing Christians for living their moral conscience and not participating in things such as
that is no longer there.
Let's dive into that kind of element in just a moment. I want to make sure, Ms. Davis, I give you a chance. Charlene Davis, what's your reaction been in these days following the passage of this amendment?
My concern is privacy, rights, and also safety, you know, for women and for little girls. As a Christ follower, we are commanded to love everybody, and we do. I love the LGBT community, but I don't agree with their theories. And I feel like this law is forcing their theories for me to accept it. And I don't accept it, you know.
I appreciate that. So I've heard some of the conversation certainly has been about values, if you will. And I've heard some of that language. It's forcing certain values on us. So let's talk about this. I think certainly those of you who are here today saying, hey, we are part of a Christian community and we need to be able to, you know, have our viewpoint heard. Let me ask about this. Isn't this something where you're saying you need to legislate morality? If you think the homosexual lifestyle is something that is a moral question, you're saying let's legislate this. Am I wrong on that?
Ken, as a clergy person, I would love to respond to that because I too am a Christ follower. We have a lot more in common than we have in difference, to be honest with you. But here's the thing. You can believe whatever you want. I wouldn't try to convince you that the homosexual lifestyle was something you should adopt, accept, teach your children. I would never tell you that, even if that's what I believe. You have a right to your own moral beliefs that are informed by your faith. I understand that. Mine are too. But here's what I would hold you accountable for as a Christian, and I'm speaking if you were part of my congregation, and you're not, so I don't mean it, don't mean to sound pejorative, but I would hold you accountable as a Christian for the way you behave, not what you think. You don't have to think it's okay, but I would ask, as you say, you are a loving person, which is very clear. You're a loving person and want to be kind and accepting, although you disagree. Continue to disagree. That's not a problem, but treat people equally. Allow people to live in an equal way in your community. That's what I was supporting the HRO to achieve, not to force anything down your throat.
So in regard to my question about are you trying to legislate morality, well, that's what legislation does in so many cases, right? It says here's the standard of how we behave. So Mr. Johnson maybe, or Ms. Davis, how does that not get to what you want? You want people treated fairly, but you're saying somehow this protection for this class, adding protection to this class, is forcing values on you.
Let's respond to the pastor. The bottom line is, for the vast majority of Christians and Christian theologians, I'm sorry, but our guest is just completely wrong on the moral stance of this issue. This is historically unbiblical to support an agenda of sin, but I want to bring this conversation back.
Now, what she's saying, though, is supporting a standard of treating people with respect, even if you, to your point, even if you believe their lifestyle is sin, that's separate from treating them in a way that doesn't discriminate. Am I wrong on that?
Well, here's the thing, though. We're using discrimination as an African American, as a black person in America. I take offense to trying to come under those same standards of discrimination that my people went through. You know, we were whipped, You know, we were beaten, our children were taken, we were hung, you know, we were spit on, we were hosed down, our churches were burned, we weren't allowed to go to the same schools, use the same bathrooms. And that, to put, I mean, I can't wake up one morning and say, you know, I identify with a white person and have something miraculously changed. You know, if you identify with being a woman on a particular day, you can go in the restroom with little girls and women and expose yourself. You know, I'm thinking of privacy and I'm thinking of safety. I'm thinking of opening a door to pedophiles, registered sex offenders, to just home in on a community like this and just take advantage of a law.
That's a concern for you.
That is yes,
understood.
Definitely.
So I want to make sure, and what I told you, I wanted to be balanced, to make sure everybody got a chance to speak. Mr. Johnson, you wanted to say something to the mayor, and Mr. Merkin, I don't want to keep you out. So, Mr. Johnson, your point to Mayor Curry at this juncture,
yes,
and then we'll wrap up.
If you know, if I had the chance to talk to the mayor, I would look at the camera today and tell him, as far as the mayor is concerned, we know that you have refused to take the stand that you should by telling the homosexual lobby to hit the road. However, Mayor Curry is a conservative mayor, and we know that he has a further statewide political aspirations. So let me take a moment to directly talk to Mayor Curry. Mayor, you told our pastors that you would veto an HRO. In fact, I have here in writing a email where you said that you would veto had you been mayor, you would have vetoed the 2012 HRO. And so you're, as the mayor and the former chairman of the Republican Party of Florida, feel that your refusal to sign this law is sending a clear signal to Republican and elected officials across the state.
I'm running out of time here, so I apologize. I need to cut you off there. If he said he was going to veto an HRO in 2012, it's different than the HRO today.
The bottom line is we're asking the mayor to veto the law.
If you would wrap it up for me,
I will wrap it up beautifully. The City Council heard deliberation on this for years. The City Council voted on a 12-6 supermajority vote that they accepted the arguments that were made by the LGBT community, the business community, the civic leaders, the faith leaders.
200 faith leaders.
200 faith leaders, over 700 businesses that support our coalition. And they voted on a 12-6 vote to update this ordinance, and they rejected all of those other arguments that were presented.
Yeah. So it sounds like we could keep talking. I know people across Jacksonville and even surrounding counties and in the state are talking about it, but I appreciate hearing your concerns, your questions, the reasoning behind all of this, and obviously it's a pretty big moment or week for the city of Jacksonville. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So from a politically famous family, Congresswoman Gwen Graham is joining us next on This Week in Jacksonville. Stay with us.
I'm John Morgan. For almost 30 years, we've had the opportunity to help you at one of your most desperate hours. An accident takes seconds to occur, but the injuries, loss of income, and medical bills can last a long time, even a lifetime. Our job is to make sure that your justice compensates you for your pain and suffering and protects your family for the rest of your life. Remember, I'm not just a lawyer, I'm your lawyer. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Welcome back, Grandma. Wow.
I did a lot of shopping in Italy, and I met a nice man.
Ciao. Gino.
Da
Italia.
He's Italian.
Vieni qua.
Buick now has an SUV for that. The new Buick Envision. One of 3 luxury SUVs from the new Buick.
Just wait until you try his lasagna.
But, Grandma, you don't like lasagna.
Current Buick lessees, get this low-mileage lease on this 2017 Buick Envision for around $299 per month.
We blindfolded Dale and told him to find the chicken with no antibiotics. Thing is, by federal law, all chickens must be clear of antibiotics before they leave the farm. How's it going, Dale?
Working on it.
Some chicken companies try to get you to spend more money by using labels like raised without antibiotics. At Sanderson Farms, we don't believe in gimmicks like that.
Well, how'd I do?
No antibiotics to worry about here.
That was easy.
Fresh, delicious chicken from Sanderson Farms.
The Honda President's Day sales event is here with great deals on the 2017 Honda Civic and 2017 Honda Accord. Celebrate KBB.com's 2016 Best Value brand at the Honda President's Day sales event, happening now at your Honda dealer.
Golden Corral's ultimate 7-day brunch. Every day at 9:30 a.m. Enjoy new brunch favorites like strawberry cheesecake French toast, sausage gravy and biscuits, made-to-order omelets, carved ham, bacon, and all your lunch favorites. Your day just got a whole lot tastier. Only at Golden Corral.
The school, the neighborhood, the neighbors, the house next door to the neighbors, the RE/MAX agent who checked off every detail she knew the family would love at 107 Meadow. The knowledge to find what's right for you. That's the sign of a RE/MAX agent.
The I-Team investigates.
They said I shot him.
A bombshell confession locked away in police vaults. A violent criminal set free.
If the video is correct, he would have been put away and never had the opportunity to come up here and assault myself.
A local mom surviving a brutal rape, then facing her attacker in court. The I-Team uncovering how it could have been prevented. Plus, his connection to one of the most notorious serial killers in Jacksonville. The Lost Confession, Monday on News 4 Jackson 540.
Thanks for joining us on this Sunday morning, and with great pleasure, we welcome back former Congresswoman Gwen Graham to our show. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Great to see you again. And I know one of the things that we just talked about was something that, that you had weighed in on, expanding HRO and protections to the LGBT community here in Jacksonville. You've got federal concerns, statewide concerns. Why is that important, what happens here in Jacksonville to you?
Well, I just want to applaud Jacksonville for taking this step of equality and also recognizing that's economically in the best interest of Jacksonville as well. You look at what happened in North Carolina, and it's good to have an environment where everyone feels welcome, and proud of Jacksonville for taking that step.
Yeah, a lot of folks who were in favor of it said a long time coming. And certainly lots of discussion continues even now. Let's talk about your time in Congress. It was brief, one term until redistricting kind of made it more Republican-favored district there. What did you learn in Congress for those couple of years?
I learned that what I love doing the most, which is working together with people who even don't agree with me. I think you get the best decisions by bringing people together who can debate and hash out what's the right solution. And I made so many friendships. I miss everybody up there. But I'm looking forward to what the future holds as well.
Now, this is what you call the North Florida way, right?
Yes.
What is the North Florida way? Just that, working together even when you disagree?
The North Florida way is, again, yes. I mean, I'm a people person. I know that's probably a shock. But I mean, just really wanting to do the best for folks that you interact with, folks that you represent. And again, folks that often can come together in an acrimonious way, but figure out how to walk out of that room with a good solution, with the best solution.
Yeah, your father, the former governor here, former senator, Bob Graham, and that was his approach, right? This is you've been trained to do it this way, right?
Well, look, I mean, if you had asked me 7 years ago if I'd be sitting here having the pleasure of sitting here with you, I would have said, no way, no how. I'm not a career politician. I'm not someone who's lived my life planning on running for office. But since I made that decision, I have found every day that what I love to do and what I bring is beneficial to those that give me the opportunity to serve them. This is about public service.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about something I've seen. You've been kind of vocal about women's rights in this new Donald Trump era. So what's happening that makes you believe President Trump is going to, or threatening to undo all the progress made over the years? I saw that was written in a recent editorial.
Well, his actions have led me to believe that. And look, I'm the mother of a daughter. I also have 2 boys. And I want my daughter to have the same opportunities as my sons have in every area. And I think I grew up in a world that was changing regarding women's rights. I don't want to go backwards. I want my daughter and future daughters to have a changed world and not have to keep fighting these same battles.
Well, what are those battles that may be going backwards in view? Maybe what are the priority items in terms of women's rights?
Well, I think we need to have the HRO is a perfect example of having economic opportunity for all. I think healthcare issues are important for women, and I think that you know, just being able to go into any work environment. I spent 6 years as the chief of labor and employee relations at our local school district in Tallahassee, and I work with employees all the time, and just developing a work environment that is fair for all.
Yeah, it's certainly a topic that we keep hearing about, and certainly income equality. I mean, there are things that are pretty important to address as things keep changing. One other topic here. I saw that there's new leadership coming to the Department of Environmental Protection. Former DEP Secretary Herschel Vineyard is here in Jacksonville. We spoke about this recently. Why do you think that's needed? Because I've seen some of your work here recently talking about the toxic sinkhole in Polk County and the millions of dollars spent in this kind of legal battle over water in North Florida.
Well, the water wars that have been going on for 3 decades is something that the decision was devastating for me personally, because I care so passionately about this issue, and I care passionately about Florida being treated fairly. In terms of the spill, the sinkhole, the spill that occurred in Polk County, I just was really appalled that the state of Florida was not letting those citizens that live closest to the sinkhole, not letting them, informing them that their water quality might be impacted. I mean, we need to make sure that every Floridian is protected where water quality is involved. So we filed quite a few public records requests to get the information, and I'm proud to say, and I think we were the reason this occurred, DEP now has on their webpage a notification if there's a pollution spill or incident that the people of Florida deserve to know about.
Yeah. Maybe final thing, I've seen this written about also, and we've talked about this privately as well. I wanted to know how your husband's doing. I know that this has been in the news because you've been looking at considering a run for governor in 2018, and he's got a kind of a health situation right now.
Yes. Well, thank you, first of all. It really means a lot that you asked me, and it really means a lot. So many people are aware of Steve's cancer battle. He has chastised me, I will be honest. He goes, do not make your run for governor about my cancer. Good news is he's doing very well. We went to Moffitt. The good folks in Moffitt are providing excellent care, and so the treatment plan is working, which is what I was praying for and what I know a lot of people have been praying for. There's nobody that's more behind my potential run for governor than my husband. So all very good news.
Yeah, you've got a lot of people who are on your side. A lot more people on Steve's side, too, because he's a great guy and obviously a big advocate. Appreciate it. Appreciate the time. There's a lot more questions I want to ask, so I'm going to have to do that after you get a chance to talk to JU's Public Policy Institute, this time while you're in town, and the next time you're in town, we'll get to visit again.
I look forward to visiting anytime you want me to come back, Kent.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Congresswoman Gwen Graham here in Jacksonville today. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we caught up with the former mayor of Fernandina Beach, former banker, and current state senator Aaron Bean. And we did that just moments after his meeting with the governor. Senator Bean's priorities representing Northeast Florida next on This Week in Jacksonville.
This year, Chevy's received more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other car brand. And they received more last year, too. And the year before that. And the year before that.
I'm just impressed that it keeps going.
In fact, Chevy's received more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other car brand 4 years in a row.
Impressive.
Find your tag to get $2,000 total cash allowance on select Malibu vehicles in stock. See your Southern Chevy dealers.
Saturday, February 25th, come to the Odom Ranch pre-spring land sale and get your 10-acre Florida ranch property from only $69,900. That's right, just $69,900 for 10 acres of spectacular ranch land located in the heart of Old Florida, one of the few places where genuine country land bargains are still available. Enjoy a prime location near several natural Florida lakes and convenient to Jacksonville. Hurry out. These big, beautiful Florida acreages will sell quickly. Call now, 866-352-2249.
It's time to shop and buy at Dick Gore's RV World.
Find out why everyone shops and buys their RV at Dick Gore's RV World in Jacksonville. The best new and used RV brands. Absolute lowest RV prices. Only at Dick Gore's RV World. Airport exit in Jacksonville.
For top quality floors at rock bottom prices, there's no place like Floor & Decor. Over 1 million square feet of tile, wood, and stone flooring in stock. You have to see it to believe it. Visit us at your local Floor & Decor or flooranddecor.com.
I love this Camry.
Best decision I ever made.
It really is.
Hey, it has a backup camera.
Really?
Yeah, and it can tell me where to go. It charges my phone without a cord.
What?
Hey, Trey.
The 2017 Toyota Camry, always a good decision. Get 0% APR for 72 months plus $500 bonus cash on a 2017 Camry. Toyota, let's go places.
Tonight's special, Longhorn favorites. Get our outlaw ribeye, the Longhorn salmon, or the Parmesan crusted chicken. And for lunch, try our steakhouse burger or any steakhouse lunch combo. You can't fake steak.
When you've been injured in an accident, it's very important to call Harrell & Harrell early in the process. We will sit down and talk with you for free. Ultimately, our goal is to get you the justice that you deserve.
Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This year, Chevy's received more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other car brand. And they received more last year, too. And the year before that. And the year before that.
I'm just impressed that it keeps going.
In fact, Chevy's received more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other car brand 4 years in a row.
Impressive.
Find your tag to get $2,000 total cash allowance on select Malibu vehicles in stock. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
State lawmakers getting ready for that annual legislative session. They must agree on a budget during their 60 days together, or they have to keep convening until they have one. I recently went to Tallahassee and asked Senator Aaron Bean, the Republican representing Nassau and Duval counties, about his priorities leading up to session's start in March.
Well, 3 weeks, the countdown is on till the legislative session kicks off. There's just so much work to do that we start early. The legislature starts early. We've actually began last year in late fall with the preparation. So committees are underway right now. The budget is probably the front and center, is that we're investigating everything and going through exercises of reducing monies and increasing monies and see what it would look like. But it's an exciting time. I'm glad. Always great to see people from Jacksonville in Tallahassee.
And Jacksonville Mayor Lenny Curry is said to be a contender to replace outgoing Chief Financial Officer for the state, Jeff Atwater. In fact, Atwater himself has suggested the mayor should be considered. Mayor Curry made it clear this week he says he's not interested.
I don't deal in hypotheticals. I'm not pursuing anything. I'm not talking to anyone. I've got a job here to do. Don't deal in hypotheticals, but the mayor of Jacksonville loved this job.
Governor Scott's expected to appoint the new Chief Financial Officer when the legislature wraps up its session beginning of May. Jacksonville may soon get a new tool to curb shootings. We've been telling you about that all week. Great stuff going on here in the city of Jacksonville. And we want to tell you about next week. Our two new federal lawmakers are making time to talk about their first month in office. Congressman Al Lawson and John Rutherford, both of them will be here. This Week in Jacksonville, as you know, airs each Sunday morning this time, 9 a.m., and airs online on news4jax.com. I'm Kent Justice. Thanks for watching.
For Jax, we're always covering the news, even when we're not on TV. Stay informed, on the go, and online at news4jax.com.